Hello and welcome to another Python tutorial. Today I will be showing you how you can work across tabs using Python. So what I'll be doing is I'll be first showing you how you can create an extra tab, and then what we'll do is we will basically have the tabs working all together with each other. One reason why you may want to do this is because of maybe you want your code split out and you want one tab to code a certain specific thing and then another tab to code another thing, and then you want to bring those two things together on a separate tab. Or maybe you want to bring in something else that you've worked on in another project. So working across tabs is something I can show you to help get yourself up and running and at least know the basics of how to do that. Let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you is how to create an extra tab. So I'm using Visual Studio, and this may be different if you're using another Python shell. So just bear that in mind. However, once you've created that extra tab, how you then call that tab and then work with that tab should hopefully or should be the same as what I'm going to show you. Okay, so how you create an extra tab in this Python shell is you go to your Solution Explorer part and you click where it says the name of your project. In this case, it's working across tabs. And if you right click, you have a list appearing. And if you go to add, you have another selection appearing. And if you click on new item, that will create another list of new items that can be created. And all of these will represent a tab that can be created in your project. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select empty Python file, and we're just going to create that. So that's our tab created. And in the top left, it's got module1.py, module1.py. And so that is module1.py created. And if we didn't like that title, module 1, we can always rename it. And instead of going up here and then right-clicking and trying to rename it there, the best thing to do is go to where you created the tab and go to right-click where it says module1.py, press rename, and then give it a new name. So let's call it new tab.py. And up here on the left, it has renamed that tab new tab.py. So what we can do now is we can populate this. We can, create a variable. Let's just call it, let's create some fruit. And we can give it a list of, let's just create some 3 fruits. So let's have apple, apples, apple, banana, and pear. So we created our list here of fruit, apple, banana, pear. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our main working across tabs project, and we're going to basically get the information from that new tab. So what we can do is we can import that tab, like any other module that we import. So we type in, if we just save this quickly. So if we type in import and then new tab, we can now use the contents of that new tab. And so how we use tabs and how we get them working across tabs is we just import it like a new module, like you do with pandas or OS or matplotlib. And now we can also give it an alias as well. So we can call it as nt. nt is now a new tab. Type in nt.fruit. We can now call fruit. So we can print nt.fruit, and let's print the first fruit And then let's run this. And we can print our first fruit. Here we have apple. Apple here. And if we go to our new tab.py, our first fruit is apple. So there's proof that we have created a new tab. We've then pulled information from another tab and then printed that result out of the first tab. So that's how you work across tabs. So that's a very simple example. So let's just work through a couple more examples, getting yourself a bit more familiar with working across tabs. So I've created a couple more tabs here. One's called thing, and another one is called count function. And so we're going to go a bit more complex in terms of working across tabs to get yourself a bit more familiar with how it works. So this time I've imported our tab thing, and we've got for I in range 3, we're going to print basically this list here, 1, 2, and 3, which is thing 1, thing 2, and thing 3. So if we print it now, we've now basically got a loop which we're running through another tab, which again raises that level of complexity and hopefully adds another string to your bow. So that's a loop that we've created in one tab that references another tab that we've created. So let's go through a final example with our count function. I've created a function here called def count, and then within that count function there's a loop. So that function basically creates a loop of between 0 and n is something that we specify. So again, upping the complexity here. So so the same as before, we import count function, and this time I've given it the alias cf. And so what we can do now is we can call that function. So that function is called count, and in brackets n. So we're just specifying n when we're calling our function. So in this case, you've got cf calling our count function tab dot count, and then in brackets 5. And then what we can do now is we can now run it, and we can now see we get our list of between 0 and 4 because it's in positions, not numbers. Cool, right, so one other thing I'm going to show you is working across multiple tabs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to basically, I've created within thing, I've basically referenced, I've basically put count of things. I created a new variable here in thing, and also in the def count, we've also got a function here that requires n. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be calling across 2 tabs. So hopefully this gives you an example of not just working and pulling across information from one tab. We're actually going to pull information across from multiple tabs within the same line. So let's do that. So here we have cf.count. So here we are, we're counting. We're calling our count function here. But within the count function, we are calling our tab thing count of things. So we're going to call that number here 10. So what we've done here was within this working across tabs main tab, we can call this our sort of main work area, our sort of trunk of the tree, so to speak. We've now calling essentially 2 branches. We've got our count within our count function, and we've got our count of things within our things tab. Okay, so what we need to do is before we've run this code, we need to actually go back up and we need to import thing that we hashed out earlier. And now we can run this function and we should get our function running very nicely. So there we go. We've called 2 tabs, 2 other tabs with our one line of print function, and we have basically having them both work together to achieve the desired result. So that's just a quick tutorial on working across tabs. It's something which I think is very useful to know, and hopefully this will enable you to sort of increase the sort of how your sort of level of expertise and how you can, and your coding abilities essentially. So thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel. Please do share it if you liked it, and get whoever to share it to subscribe as well, because it'll be full of these golden nuggets here where, you know, sometimes it's really good just to go back to the basics or learn the basics or have someone go through with you step by step of how to do things. And that's exactly what this channel is about. It's step by step walkthroughs of coding tutorials. So please subscribe, like and share and comment below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching.